This service today, we're going to be talking a lot about, where we're going in the future, and specifically how we are going to be more intentional about connecting with what goes on here at the Family Center. So we asked Rodney Spoker, who is the executive director of the Family Center, to be here with us and explain to us what goes on here on this property. I would guess there are quite a few that aren't sure what all happens here at the Family Center. We have people periodically coming up to us and saying, man, you guys, it's great that the church has a cafe. Now, we don't have the cafe. So we use the cafe. And so we're going to, Rodney is going to explain to us all the different entities, partnerships that are here at the Family Center. And the reason for that is we feel like it's important for you to understand what is going on here, because in the future, you're going to be hearing more and more about the Family Center, and we're going to be more intentional about doing outreaches and community outreaches together. And so we wanted to give you a heads up on that and kind of present a clearer picture of what goes on here. So, Cody, why don't you get us started, please?
Well, one of those outreaches, and I'm going to let Buck and Rodney just jump in here, is on Thursdays. They have, not every Thursday, it's
First and third Thursday.
First and third Thursday. They have a soup/food distribution that works through Jars of Hope. And that's all connected to, every year we're taking up, I think, 12,000 pieces last year.
12,000 last year, 13,000 this year.
And those pieces supplement the food distribution that happens on Thursday. So it's all connected, but some of the relationships that come out of especially this soup/food distribution is amazing. And a few weeks ago, Nancy Clegg, who was working the front desk, I think after the food distribution, caught one of the individuals who were part of it, Diane, who actually comes to church here, and was just overwhelmed by her exuberance of how blessed she was. So I want to watch a video of that, and then we'll go from there.
Thursday night we went to the food bank, and we were so amazed, so excited. They had a meal for us. We weren't even expecting anything like that. We figured we would just pick up our food and go home as usual. They must have been 8 to 10 of these huge big pots of soup and chili and stew, and they had the greatest cheese sandwich. Just plain white bread and cheese, but they must have put a ton of love in there because they were delicious, and I even had 2. Thank you. But that was a blessing to do that, and then they sent us home with some soup, so we were just blessed beyond belief. It was wonderful. This is a wonderful place. They give out blessings all the time.
That's so awesome to see that. I mean, yeah. That's just a big win. Something simple that can be done, just give out some soup and sandwiches, and you guys all participate with that. We asked the different entities to participate. CPRS, which is over in the other building, Central Pennsylvania Rehabilitation Services, participated last month. And they bought in 7 crock pots. We usually use about 10. We had 12 come, and it worked out really well. And the ladies that run Jars of Hope, which is a food bank that's here and a clothing bank, said how much more the people were so more happier while they're waiting to be processed to get their food. Because usually they have to sit in a room and wait for their number to be called and then be processed, and it takes a little time. So now when they sit in the room, they get to eat. And they can eat as much as they want, and I think it was 46 families that we did. We're doing it on the third Thursday right now. We may move to first and third Thursdays. Someone else did it the first Thursday of this month, and I believe it went well. And it's just a blessing to be able to give back to the community and to reach out in that small way, which has such a powerful impact, as you could see in Diane's life. Mm-hmm. So thank you for all that. Bags are back there. We need your support. 13,000 items we're shooting for this year, 2013. So pick up a bag, bring it back. The list is on the bag of the items that are needed. Please stick to the items that are needed, and please don't bring expirated product in here because we cannot use it. It just gets thrown in the trash. If you can't eat it, we're not going to eat it. Or if you can't use it, we're not going to use it. So please don't bring any of that kind of stuff in here. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. And may I just comment on how that happened? That's a great partnership, I think. Well, how that happened is we as a staff, we would, when these families would come in. They would use the community room, which is cool, and our offices are surrounding the community room. Sorry there, Buck. And these people were coming and waiting to register for their items for Jars of Hope, which is next door. And it's like we had an aha moment, or like a duh moment, where we were thinking, here these people come who have a need. They're coming to our facility in our house or in our room. We need to do something, or we want to do something while they're here waiting. And so we got our heads together and thought, well, why don't we provide soup and sandwich? And it's just been a great experience, and we get to meet community folks. And there's I know at least of 1 or 2 families that are here this morning as a result of us getting acquainted with community people here. So it's just a great example of how we can partner with the Family Center.
And that's an example of what partnership is. But we've realized over the years that a lot of people that come in the doors on a Sunday morning really have never been exposed to the fact and the reality of what actually is in this building, which is, it's pretty mind-blowing. The amount of people that come through this building on an average month is between 5,000 and 7,000 people. There's a lot of people coming through the doors, and they're coming for a reason. And we have Rodney Smoker, who's the executive director of the Family Center, here today to kind of give us a broader view of this very unique situation we have in this building. So Rodney, if you could share with us kind of what the Family Center is about and where the partners are and who they are.
Sure. Well, I want to start by saying the clip that you saw is why we come to work. Everybody who's connected here, this is why we do what we do. You know, the items you collect for Jars of Hope are so important for the mission and vision of how we're serving community. And Jars of Hope is a department of the Family Center, and it exists as a storefront for relationships. We have all kinds of components in there that are service components, but they really exist to help people, but for us to really be able to engage and get to know people. You know, we have the thrift shop that generates some revenue for that program to run, but we probably give away equal to or a little greater than what we sell for a profit as we're meeting needs. And the food components that come in are not only for the food distribution 2 times a month, they're for emergencies, they're for people who find themselves in situations, even a case of a fire, where we just help them and do what we can to get them started again. But all of that is really showing the community there's resources here, but as we build relationships, how can we help them better? And that's where the partnerships come in. You know, Gap Community Church is a partner, but they're really a part of the process. So this building is yours just like everybody else's, because as you come here as a body, you're doing things together, translating to community service or programming. It helps us because we have a collective pool, which is what I want to explain. We show up together in a bigger way, meeting needs in the community. So across the hall here, where the children go to children's church or the children's services there, that's our daycare during the week. And we take children from 6 weeks old all the way through elementary school. And we have an infant program, toddlers, preschool. You know, there's a lot of development that happens there, but we also bus children back and forth to school. So some families will bring all of their small children. Some are here all day. Some we bus to school and bring back, and then the parents pick them up at the end of the day. So it's one stop in the morning, one stop in the afternoon, and they don't have to have childcare in between for those that are older than the daytime program here at the Family Center.
We have about 140, I think.
We have 140 children enrolled, which Merle asked me earlier how many families, and I'm just guessing that's about 70 families from single parents to family units. And, you know, a good example of the Early Learning Center, that staff go beyond just taking care of children from 5:30 in the morning until 6 o'clock at night. They are committed. They care about the children, their families, the connected families that aren't even within that unit. But these ladies, when they receive people at the door, they're receiving the family as a whole, not just the child or the head that's in the count in the room. They're buying into serving community in a capacity far greater than we could have expected or what's required of them. These ladies are preparing meals for people to take home, or they're going into homes and doing meals. They're cleaning for some of these families that are stretched. They're spending time relationally outside of here supporting. And I think because of that, it really feels like a family-knit unit. And they're really taking care of people that are needing care and love.
Yeah, it sounds like to me that, we sometimes talk from the pulpit about that we believe that everyone is an able minister of the gospel. And we believe that. And when I hear you talking about these women who have went to school to be educated for this educational service, but they're taking it a step further. They're being the hands and feet of God into these people's lives to help just not educate the kids, but to actually create relationships with them, which that's what it's all about.
Mm-hmm. And outside of their programming, they're coming to me saying, I need cleaning supplies, I need paper supplies, we need mops and brooms, because they're going out and doing this. I'm like, well, okay, that's a whole new dynamic in the budget, but the reality is it's continuing relationships and it's meeting a need, and they do it very well. So, their component is huge for us in a lot of capacities, but they've taken their relationships to a whole new level. And as families are coming in, even some of them are economically struggling, these ladies are paying toward their tuition to keep some of these children in school. So that's huge.
I wanted to throw one more thing in because I just thought about this between services. And we have a great opportunity as a church to sow back into Hildebrandt, the daycare. They have a play area outside, and here soon, before spring happens, they would love for that play area to be redone and to have a makeover. And I would love for this church to step up to the plate and be the main proponents in making that happen, because it would bless all these little people who run around here all week long. And it's you just need to come and see it, because then it'll move you to be involved.
Let me just say, also what I like about being here, I have been at too many churches where the place is like haunted during the week. The only thing that goes on there is Sunday morning, and that's their business, that's cool, but that always felt wrong to me. But when you come to this property, you come to the family center, this place is humming from 6 in the morning to like 9 at night. There's people moving around, there's people in and out, and all kinds of activity going in. To me, that just feels right. Feels good.
One thing with Hildebrandt too, the daycare, I get the opportunity. We intertwine and intermingle, and I know the person that runs it and so forth, and some of the teachers, and they asked me to do the Christmas story for the whole daycare, and the parents come and things like that, or at Easter time and things like that. So that's a great way for us as a church to be involved in the community. And of course, my grandkids have come through here. Camden's still here 2 or 3 days a week. And, you go into the rooms, or the kids are out here playing, and if I walk in, they're all hollering, hey, Pops, because he calls me Pops, And they're just so friendly. This is pretty awesome.
They definitely connect anybody that gives them time, that's for sure. So moving upstairs into the main section in the building, Angela's Cafe exists for a lot of reasons. And through the years, a lot of you have seen it go through a lot of changes. Is it a restaurant? Is it a cafe? Is it a restaurant? Is it a cafe? Can we come and hang out? What is going on in there? And so I really feel right now that this year it's very clear what that space can be. It is a cafe, and it is a space to be used and hung out in, and really a connection or a heartbeat to the center. The desire has always been that space could kind of be a heartbeat where people could just be. So one of the things that I have noticed, and it just really feels good, is when there are groups of people that come for meetings or connection groups, at whatever capacity, even the youth hanging out, it is totally okay to be in that space and just hang out, because ultimately, yes, it's nice when people buy things from us and we have that profit center, but it also is a space that feels good when it's full and when people can come and just be. A lot of ministry happens up there during the week, outside of even the connection groups, just friends getting together or people coming in and out or in between services that just need time, that can happen up there. And we just really love the fact that right now it is all of what we're doing. You know, it's a part of Sunday, it's a part of the day-to-day, and potentially in the future it will look more as a giving entity as well. We have been doing some things out there as we've served community outside of a for-profit situation. Good example is our last Thanksgiving meal we did not do down here, we did upstairs. And it was nice because a lot of people came for a lot of different reasons. And we were challenged a little bit about who we served and why, because it wasn't just impoverished families that came, so to speak. We opened that meal up as a community meal for everybody. And through that time and through responding to some of that, my response was everybody's impoverished in some way. Whether you come from a wealthy class or a situation where you just need help or support, there's something in the mix that we all qualify as impoverished. What was impactful up there and most important to us was that people connected with people. You could come relationally and just say, can I eat with you? Thanks for coming, you were lonely. We had senior citizens that came that don't have family around here. You know, that morning my cheeks were just sore from the older ladies going, oh, you're just like my grandson. So between the kissing and the pinching and all of that stuff, people were being served. And we had families that came together, which were the first times they had been together for a while, but it was a controlled neutral space. And everybody that came, I believe, walked away with something. Whether they came for out of hunger, out of loneliness, but everybody had a purpose and a reason, and I feel good because at the end of that time, I think everybody was served in a different capacity. And I see a couple heads bobbing that I know were here and serving, and they saw a lot of different things happening, but that's who we are as we serve community.
May I just say, Rodney?
Yes.
Aren't we all thankful that Rodney and the Family Center allow us to use that space on Sunday morning, huh?
Yeah.
Yes. It's working out great.
Cafe's open to the public Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., correct?
That's right.
Yeah. There you go.
And then connected to that is we're a branch of the Lancaster County Library. We are the only library entity in the county that is open 6 days from 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. Wow. You can order things and have them picked up here. You can drop them here. The online resources are there. Our checkout stats per month are passing some of the parochial or the other library units in the county, but funding is tight and they're operating on shorter hours and shorter staff. But what we have here that's different is our staff is a part of that as a volunteer for the library staff. So we're able to provide all of these services 6 days a week, and it's a good model because as funding becomes more of an issue, we're hoping that more libraries use their space in a collaborative way like we do here.
You know, maybe the Postal Service should try this model.
We're pretty busy about that. I'm not
I'm
interested
sorry.
in delivering mail, but you might have time for that.
What else do we have going on here?
We have the counseling center, another big component here in the facility. All kinds of counseling from children, family, individuals, premarital, crisis, drug and alcohol. That all happens in that space. And again, it's a great way to connect with other entities as we're doing ministry and serving community. Bob Miller, Tree of Life, is here. He is really focused on wellness, wholeness, relaxation. You know, you can go in there and get your body back in balance. You can get nutritionally back on the board. You can learn how to take care of yourself and relax a little bit. But somewhere in the process between counseling and Tree of Life, there's a crossover. And the nice thing is they can refer people to the next step. We do that as well with Pequea Valley Community Medicine in the next building. You know, there's a triage of care there, and when people are paying attention to mind, body, and soul for wellness, it takes more than one person or one entity to do that. So we're really excited that these collaborations can happen, and we're really excited that 7 days a week there are resources in the building that serve that. Upstairs on the third floor, we have Cornerstone Pregnancy Care Services, Crisis Pregnancy Intervention. They do very well at working with young adults, single, young ladies, young couples. They have a wonderful mentoring program for men, and for young families. They're always looking for volunteers, and they need people who want to sow into young people's lives. They're looking for people that can show families what it means to cook and spend time at the table as a family, and hoping to groom these young families into some kind of model that is a stable point for the children that are coming into their world or the children they already have. In addition to that, their programming involves incentive points that you can earn for resources, clothing, furniture, food. Just a lot of great things going on up there that, again, fit right back in the model of we're giving back to help make community a healthier place. We have Hack Community College as a partner, of course, on the college credited level, but we're spending time looking at what could be community classes that are non-credited but of interest, or even improvements, like photography and just even sociology in general, not at a credited level, but just basic things so we can understand each other and function in community.
How about computer classes?
Computer classes, yep, we do those as well through Esch Computer.
Can we sign Buck up?
Didn't we try that a couple times? That might be another meeting. There is a class for people who do this. But anyway, and then
Mike is here too, right? Mike Lusby.
Mike Lusby, Salus Solutions, life coaching, nutrition as well. Again, Mike's piece is really unique in the mix or the bridge of everything that happens, because Mike takes a position where he can really start to listen and unpack and put people on a track for health or improvement. So all of it together and working together equates to a healthier community. And that's where, when I was talking to Cody about our numbers, that's what drives 5,000 to 7,000 people a month through the doors in this building. In addition, Paradise Energy is here. They're a service provider on a business level, but again, they're an indicator, because we often get calls, hey, why don't you go meet so-and-so, or would you be willing to meet with this family, because they get indicators that they might need something else. And then, of course, we have self-storage, because everybody has stuff. And it's not always the stuff you store per se, but we all have our stuff.
Well, and the one thing I just want to point out is that, the Family Center is an independent organization. And I think that's something that you're going to hear a lot more about in the future, of how they're community oriented, but they need community support.
Absolutely. We are independent. We earn everything that we use to be here, and I'm not sure that everybody realizes that, but we really don't have a big bank account or a pocket of change that we dip into. We literally earn what we spend or use month to month to get by here. We are an independent group.
So any closing comments as we segue into this next piece about the days and months and years in the future?
I just have one more thing. I just really appreciate the opportunity to work with everybody here and really develop potentials for the entities to help each other moving forward. And not just GCC and the Family Center, it's GCC to daycare and the other pieces that are here, maybe even some mentoring pieces for Cornerstone. It matters, it makes a big difference, and it does impact community.
Great, thanks, Rodney. Changing gears just a little bit, we do thank God for bringing us to this place, to this point in time. As you can tell, there's a lot of components, a lot of things going on here, and as a result of that, we felt like it would really be good to tighten our partnership a bit with Family Center as we move forward. You will be hearing more and more of these kinds of collaborations in the future, and so we felt like it was important for you to get a better understanding of what all happens here at the Family Center. You just think about the fire hall. Now, it served its purpose, and it was a wonderful start, but I am so glad that we have the Connection Cafe versus the fire hall. And so there's a lot of things that God has blessed us with, and we look forward to moving ahead. There are great things happening, let me say, a lot of great things happened in the last 10 years. And wow, we reminisced a bit last week, and as we think about all of the wonderful things that took place in the last 10 years, sometimes it brings a tear to the eye, and next time it it generates excitement, and the next one is, oh, no, we did that, we were there, you know. So there's all kinds of emotions when you think about the last 10 years. But it has been an interesting ride. And however, we believe that God is more interested, or he is very interested in where we are going, where we are and where we are going. We don't want to spend a lot of time reminiscing. That is okay, but we're now excited about the next 10 years and what they could look like. And we believe God has a lot of things, a lot of exciting things in store for GCC as we partner with Family Center and other outreaches and ministry opportunities that God is bringing our way. What we are committed to is moving on, moving forward. As I said a few weeks ago, you know, it's time to break camp and move out. That's what God told the children of Israel. That's what God is telling us. You know, it's time to move on. You want to look back and reflect and think about what he has done. That is healthy, but we don't want to camp out there. And we all, I think, have the tendency to do that. Most, if not all, of us like it comfortable. We like things to be predictable. We like to know where we're going. And once we find a comfortable place, we have a tendency of camping out there. And churches do the same thing. But we are saying this morning, that's not what we want to do. That's not what God is calling us to. So staying where we are is not acceptable. We want to move forward. You know, the last 2 years, the attendance here at GCC is kind of flatlined. And we're saying, you know, what's going on? What's that all about? And with God's help, I think we're getting a hand on how we can move forward and move from being stagnant numerically to moving on. And we'll be talking more and more about that. But that is a little disconcerting to us. And we're concerned about that because we believe there are still people all around us who are broken, hurting, and lost. And as long as that's happening, we feel like God is saying, hey, there's more that can be done. There's more we can do. There's more all of us can do. So we are committed to moving on and to growing and reaching out to hurting people. See, God has called all of us, I believe, to pass on what we have received to others. Aren't you glad someone told you about God? Aren't you glad someone invited you to GCC? So that's what I think all of us need to continue to do as we move forward. Pass on what I've received to others, because it's all about seeing lives changed for the glory of God, for his honor. Yes?
Yeah, I look at numbers as some people can say, well, why should they be involved or interested in numbers? Well, each number is a person. Don't lose sight of that. So when we talk about plateauing, what we're saying is we're not inviting. I look at it this way, and this might be a little harsh, but I think a reality check is a good thing for all of us, is that when we start to lose our first love, which is the love that brought us to God, we need to re-examine where we're at. And when a church plateaus, it really says that they're losing their first love. Because if we were as passionate about God and what God's doing in our life and what's happening at GCC and what's happening in this community, we would be out there connecting with people and inviting them into that same relationship that transformed and is transforming our lives. So numbers, don't think numbers as some abstract thing. Think of a number as a person. And all these empty seats represent a person that we can invite. So that's the way to look at numbers.
Yes. You know, you can't see an empty chair transformed, but it's when someone is sitting in that chair. And so, you know, I read this week in John 15 where it talks about the branches staying connected to the vine, and it's as we stay connected that we grow and we become healthy. It's the same way in our lives. If we stay connected to God, God is going to generate growth. As a church stays connected with God and the plans that God has for that church. It's going to be alive, it's going to grow, it's going to be healthy. So what we are saying this morning is we just want to connect more and more people to God at all kinds of levels, in all different ways to do that. But we want to connect people to God, and we ask you to help us do that, to see more people connect with God, to see this place filled to capacity, to see each chair filled, because it represents a soul, an eternal soul. So I want to just challenge all of us to think about, when is the last time I invited someone? When is the last time I just, in a conversation, said, hey, why don't you come with me to church? In fact, those here this morning that have texting capabilities. Do you have texting capability? Raise your hand, please. Just go ahead, raise your hand. Texting. I'm going to ask you, that you may never hear this again, but I'm going to ask you to turn your phones on and text someone and invite them to GCC even now. You can if you want to. Say, I'll meet you at the Angela's Cafe. If your phone rings, that's fine. I'll meet you at Angela's Cafe next Sunday, at such and such a time, whenever you come, and I'll treat you to coffee. Oh, pancakes. Yeah, there you go. It's on me. You can tell them it's on me, but I want to invite you to church. So those are the kind of things that I think God is challenging all of us to do, and to help us move forward and be in touch and in tune with what God wants. We are looking forward to maximizing this facility. And our vision, we have a vision to grow, and you say, well, how about if we pack this service out and the next service? And, we have a plan. We believe we could go to another service. That's not a problem. We could easily go to a third service, whether it's another one on Sunday morning or a Saturday night service. And so there are things that God is showing us and plans in place to facilitate and to accommodate growth. We're also looking at planting a church. We're excited about planting a church in the near future where, we could go to Westchester or Cochranville or New Holland and plant another GCC somewhere so we can impact that particular community for God. So we're just asking for your help, and get on board and help us with the vision and help us move forward, because God definitely, just as He has an exciting plan for each one of you, He has, I believe, an exciting future for GCC. He does. And we want to tap into that, and we're saying, help us move forward as we continue to expand the kingdom of God here in this area. So, as we said earlier, partnering with the Family Center is going to be something this year and into the future that we're going to be working hard on. We're going to be more intentional about. For instance, there was something last year that kind of gave us all, at least the team, we had like an aha moment when we were planning our cycle event. A few weeks later, they had their big cycle, and what was it that you were doing? Their cruise in, the finale for the year. There was hundreds and hundreds of people here, and it was like, duh, why didn't we collaborate? Why didn't we do this together? And that kind of, in my mind, that was kind of the start of this desire to partner tighter with the Family Center and being more intentional about linking up with what they're doing. So we're looking forward to that, and we're asking, for your help. If you're looking for a place to volunteer, I'm sure many of the partners here at the Family Center are needing volunteers. And as we move forward, you may hear us say, hey, we're doing this event with the Family Center, and we need partners, like the soup and sandwich deal event. So you'll be hearing more and more about that, and we want to constantly be giving you opportunities to serve.
We're going to continue to develop better ways of communicating the needs that are available, or the opportunities that are available for you to serve. Because serving, as we segue into next week, is a big part of how people grow best. And so we have a amazing opportunity with all the events that they have here. How many events do you actually do per year, like roundabout?
We have 8 signature events.
Okay,
now.
And those are the huge ones, but then you have other ones on top of that.
That's
so
right.
like around 13, 14 events.
Yeah, probably closer to 18 this year.
18, okay. 18 events that people can get involved in and serve.
One that's coming up now is Easter. So they do a big Easter event for the kids and candy. And if you look in the bulletin, we're asking you to bring candy in starting next week for March 31st, I think, is the event here. So, yeah, bring all kinds of candy. We'll have a bin back there for you to put your candy in. We would appreciate that so much. There's a way you can volunteer.
See, that's a classic. I mean, so we felt like, and I hope this was helpful for all of you, we felt like it was important for you to get a better understanding of what this partnership is about and what happens here at the Family Center. And so when we ask for your help in an area, you'll know, oh yeah, that's that partnership that they talked about on Sunday. So thank you very much for your help. As we close the service this morning, the other point we want to make is we want to be very intentional in helping you grow personally in your walk with God. And we are very excited about what we are calling the Journey of a Lifetime, Route 122, which you will be hearing about next week. Cody's been working hard on that, and a team effort. We've been putting together literature and all kinds of things. But the heart and the desire of all of that is to help all of us grow spiritually, grow in our walk with God. You know, we need to be growing. You know, just quickly, just ask yourself, am I growing? Or is there things happening in me that are good indicators that I'm growing in my walk with God? Or can't I detect or see any change in my life or anything that would reflect growth? If that's you, that's sad, because God is such a great and awesome God. Watch it there, Buck. He's great and awesome, and He has so much for us to learn. And as we grow closer and closer to Him, He reveals more and more of Himself, and He begins to bring about change that we never thought would happen, that we couldn't imagine would happen, change in our minds and our thinking and how we interact with others and relate to others. And so let's not be satisfied for just let's not stagnate. Let's not put it on automatic pilot or put it in neutral and say, man, I have arrived, or at least, live that kind of lifestyle where God says, man, I have so much more for you. So these opportunities, I really believe, these service opportunities are an excellent way, not the only way, but an excellent way to help all of us grow. We really believe that you don't only grow when you read the Word. That is one way, but another way to grow is to get involved and become a servant and learn to serve others. And so that's the message this morning. We want to grow as a church, but we also want all of us to be on some kind of a track, a spiritual track, where we are growing. And just another quick thought. As you reflect on your journey, as you look back, are you doing something different now than you did a year ago? Are you looking at someone or a group of people maybe from a different perspective than you did 6 months ago or a year ago? You know what I'm saying? I think those are the kinds of changes, the inner changes that God wants to make in us. It's what's happening in my heart and my attitude and my thoughts. And, you may sit here this morning and say, you know what? I haven't had a bad thought towards that person in 4 weeks, when before it was like daily. That's huge. That's where God begins to work, and so then He gives us opportunity to flesh it out. That's why we have those 2 big commandments, the greatest commandment, love God and love others. Okay? So now I'm going to surround you with a new group of people that can possibly begin to work in a new area in your life. He might get you to work closer with Cody, or that'll really challenge you. No, I'm kidding.
Just ask my wife.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But these service opportunities will give all of us opportunities to grow, and we're serving others, and it also benefits us. So you'll be hearing more about Route 122 next week, in the next couple of weeks. And let's not forget, we're going to conclude our celebration time with one service, March the 3rd, 11 o'clock, Bring your friends, your neighbors, your families, your people you work with, your school friends, and just celebrate with us. We're going to have a great, great Sunday.